Welcome. My name is Monty, president, owner of DPL Surveillance Equipment. We're a full service surveillance and security equipment company. We have lifetime guarantees and warranties on all the products. We have 24/7, 365 tech sales and customer support. We have perhaps the largest inventory of items that not only can you buy, but you can rent and lay away as well. And we have perhaps the largest inventory, video library rather. We have perhaps the largest video library of items to peruse and check out and look at us demonstrate your favorite bug detectors, your favorite GPS trackers, audio listening devices, voice recorders, nanny cameras. There's an abundance of spy gadgets in the library of demonstration videos. So take a look at them and give yourself some time to dedicate for that effort because it's a very significant accumulation of videos covering a couple of hundred different types of products, okay? And then we have perhaps the most extensive articles directory. Our articles directory, excuse me, trying to wake up here. Our articles directory is a very significant accumulation of articles relating to, I think, a number of different topics that you're going to be interested in. We cover, again, cell phone jamming, cell phone blocking, cell phone interception, how to determine if your cell phone is bugged, if you're being electronically harassed, you can read about that. If you think you're a targeted individual, you can read about that. If you think you're suffering from electrical hypersensitivity, give us a call. If you ever wanted to know about counter surveillance in addition to surveillance, if you want to know if you just want to learn about smart meters and the effects that they have on people, microwave pulse, energy weapons, etc., we're covering it. So take a look at the articles and under that category on the website. At the top of each page, there's links: home, about us, contact us, video libraries, etc. Click on the one that says articles and give yourself some time and make sure you have plenty of coffee and cookies or donuts or something because you're going to be spending a lot of time there. So now that is about the particular accumulation of media, significant accumulation of multimedia on the website. And what else do we have? Lifetime guarantees and warranties, 24/7, 365 tech sales and customer support. Those are just a few of the things that separate us from the competition. Now, this particular episode is actually kind of interesting because this just happens to be Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Again, October has been dedicated Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Actually, I think President Obama declared October Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Okay, and let's see here. That was declared. Let's see. Yeah, that was declared some time ago by President Obama, and we actually are going on like the 13th or 14th actual year. And let's see. So we want you guys to understand that this is the time to get involved with promoting and advertising and making people aware that this is a Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So under Get Involved, and I'll put a link to the article that I wrote up for this particular situation. Get Involved sheets. They provide suggestions on how you can participate and make an impact during Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And promote NASCAM, NCSAM is another particular subject in the article that you can see. Our free buttons, posters, social media icons, templates, and web banners can help you develop your education and awareness campaign. And under events, you'll see such things as advertise your event or see what National Cybersecurity Awareness Month activities are taking place in your particular area. So there's tons of information, and we want you guys to take a look at it as soon as possible. Let's see, what else do I want to cover here? By the way, there's an organization called Stay Safe Online. Stay Safe Online actually is the organization that is responsible for bringing this to us. And let's see if I can get that in front of me. So go, in the meantime, when I pull this up, you can go to staysafeonline.org and you will see an abundance of information regarding the specifics. Let's see here. Now, okay, Obama actually declared October National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and there's weekly themes, of course, such as October 3rd through the 7th. We call it Stop, Think, and Connect. Okay, that's the first theme that's taking place the first week, this particular week actually, up until tomorrow. Stop, Think, and Connect. The basic steps to online safety and security. Staying safer and more secure online starts with Stop, Think, Connect. The simple, actionable advice anyone can follow. Stop. Make sure security measures are in place. Think about the consequences of your actions and behaviors online. Connect and enjoy the internet. Okay, so and then the second week is what we call From the Break Room to the Boardroom, creating a culture of cybersecurity in the workplace. Okay, and then we have week 3, October 17th through the 21st, recognizing and combating cybercrime. And then moving on, week 4th, October 24th through the 28th, our continuously connected lives. Again, our continuously connected lives. What's your aptitude? That's the 4th week. And then the final week, week 5, building resilience and critical systems. Okay, that has more to do with infrastructure and some of the more critical things that make the country operate, like the utility, power grids, banking systems, etc., etc. Those are typically called critical infrastructure, and we want to make sure that all critical infrastructure is definitely covered. Okay, so getting right into some of the things that we want to talk about today, outside of highlighting that this is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, there's been a number of things in the news. Okay, so where would cybersecurity and cyber threats be if we didn't cover some specifics? Okay, it just so happens that iOS 10, like a lot of you probably already know, iOS 10, besides all the good features and neat little tricks and things that we can do and the way we can save time and enhance our photos or whatever, of course there's going to be some issues. One of them is a flaw that could expose data to hackers. Okay, you heard it here first. Apple's latest mobile operating system, iOS 10, contains a significant security flaw that could compromise locally stored device backups. That's locally stored device backups, according to a Russian firm that sells iPhone hacking software. I think they're Elcomsoft. According to Elcomsoft, Apple introduced an alternative password verification mechanism to iOS 10 that skips certain security checks during the backup process. This flaw means Elcomsoft could brute force passwords 2,500 times quicker than in iOS 9. How ironic is that? Okay, iOS 9 had stronger encryption than iOS 10. Not quite sure how that happened. Severely weakening manual backups carried out via iTunes. So this is local storage, not not remote or cloud-based. Using an Intel i5 CPU, the company was able to guess 6 million passwords per second. The same CPU targeting iOS 9 backups could only manage 2,400 password guesses per second. So we go from 6 million down to 2,400, okay? Again, iOS 9 being the better, more capable as compared to iOS 10. This new, much weaker password verification method is only present in iOS 10. However, rather strangely, the older, more secure version that runs on iOS 9 and earlier is present in iOS 10, Elcom Soft said. Apple confirmed to Forbes magazine that it was aware of the issue and was working on a fix. Great. We're aware of an issue that affects the encryption strength, said Apple, for backups of devices and on iOS 10 when backing up to iTunes and on the Mac or PC. We are addressing this issue in an upcoming security update. This does not affect iCloud backups. So again, this does not affect iCloud backups. Apple says, we recommend users ensure their Mac or PC are protected with strong passwords and can only be accessed by authorized users. Additional security is also available with File Vault, which I use all the time, whole disk encryption, Apple's statement added. So you guys make sure that if you have iOS 10, you back up to the cloud. That's more secure and it's more... It's easier to manage and access your data if it's accessed remotely, and it just happens to be more secure in this case. So when you're backing up, make sure that only authorized users can get access to those machines or those devices where you back up locally. When you back up remotely, you're not going to have this problem at all until Apple comes out with a fix. Excuse me. So moving right along, Yahoo is back in the news after admitting that 500 million and then bumping that number up to 1 billion users' accounts were compromised. Now we find out that Yahoo secretly scanned customer emails for U.S. intelligence sources. Yahoo last year secretly built a custom software program to search all of its customers' incoming mails for specific information provided by U.S. intelligence officials, according to people familiar with the matter. The company complied with a classified U.S. government demand, scanning hundreds of millions of Yahoo Mail accounts at the behest of the National Security Agency, or FBI, said 3 former employees and a 4th person apprised of the events. Some surveillance experts said this represents the first case to surface of a U.S. internet company agreeing to an intelligence agency's request by searching all arriving messages. Okay, all arriving messages were being searched or scanned in this case, as opposed to examining stored messages, or what we call data at rest, or scanning a small number of accounts in real time. So again, we're going from scanning a limited number of messages that are stored, are certain just a small limited number, as compared to scanning all incoming mail. Okay, that's significant. Apple, you're not gonna win over any fans that way after this news breaks. Trust me. And I think Verizon is probably going to want a significant discount when they purchase Yahoo, considering all of the issues that are coming out. So that's that. I don't think they're going to be paying full price for Yahoo anytime soon. Moving right along, hackers infect army of cameras, DVRs for massive internet attacks. Now, you guys, this is significant mainly because there are so many what we call Internet of Things types of devices out there. And a lot of them don't have a type of interface where you can update the firmware or make them more secure or check for vulnerabilities. They're just type of things like, again, DVRs and cameras, etc., where you get it and you use it and you never consider updating it or doing anything to make it more secure. Okay? Attackers, let me back up. Hacking shows vulnerability of internet devices, security experts say. Attacks used an army of hijacked security cameras and video recorders to launch several massive internet attacks last week, prompting fresh concerns about the vulnerability of millions of smart devices in homes, businesses connected to the internet. So again, basically what they're saying is you're using one device to compromise another device. In this particular case, you if you can hack into a DVR or some other device that is connected, cameras, etc., you can actually take over those devices because they don't have the security built in. So you use a ton of devices to as a way of getting and compromising and bombarding the internet with DDoS attacks, or et cetera, et cetera. So you find weak devices and you use those for whatever you want to use them for, to do other attacks or further attacks. The assaults raise eyebrows among security experts, both for their size and for the machines that made them happen. The attackers use as many as 1 million Chinese-made security cameras, digital video recorders, and other affected devices to generate web page requests or DDoS requests, direct denial of service, and data that knock their targets offline. Security experts said this. Okay, it is unclear whether the attackers have access to video feeds from the devices. So right now, we're excluding people doing accessing live video, but you always want to expect the worst when these things happen. Okay, and I'll include maybe some links or something if I can in the show notes. The next frontier, moving right along, the next frontier in hacking just happens to be human emotions. Now this is kind of weird because actually researchers are finding out, I'll just put this in layman's terms and then I'll go to the article. Researchers are finding out that there are certain wireless devices that they've made that actually can gauge your physiology, your heart rate, your blood pressure, whether or not you're nervous, anxious, or something. In other words, we would give off these signals, and when you take a cardiogram or EKG or something, but there's equipment that's picking up these cues wirelessly now, and they'll be in banks, they'll be in offices, they'll be in trading floors on Wall Street. What'll happen is if you are starting to become tense and angry and stressed out, there will be certain wireless devices in the office or wherever. They're going to pick up on these cues and they're going to transmit that information to HR or to managers, supervisors. People will come out, how you doing? Maybe you need to take a break, maybe to get off the floor or something. Okay, so this is what the article says. These wireless signals, 1,000 times less powerful than conventional Wi-Fi, are designed to bounce off anyone within range, capturing variations in vital signs that can be analyzed quickly by a computer algorithm able to detect emotional states, the researcher said, to distinguish one mood from another. Okay, their system measures patterns of respiration, cardiac rhythms, minute variations in the length of each individual's heartbeat. A system which they called, this is one system, by the way, you guys, a system called EQ or EQ-radio is 87% accurate at detecting whether a person is joyful, angry, sad, or content. So, okay, now you have it. We have the name of one company, EQ-radio, okay? Companies including JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America have had discussions with tech companies about systems that monitor worker emotions to boost performance and compliance, according to executives at the banks who didn't want to be identified speaking about the matter. Of course they don't want to be identified, okay? It could be your boss. Imagine if all your employees were required to wear wristwatches that monitor their physiology and you had a dashboard that tells you in real time who is freaking out, says Andrew Lowe, MIT professor. Banks are already signing up for services that incorporate into their analysis of behavior a startup founded by MIT graduates called Humanize, that's Humanyze. Humanize has created a sensor-laden badge that transmits data on speech, activity, and stress patterns. Okay, so you got Humanize, you got what is the first one I said? You got Humanize, and you got EQ Radio. And microphones and proximity sensors on the gadgets help employees understand what high-performing teams are doing differently from laggards, so they're comparing one group to the other. The Boston-based company is close to announcing a deal with a bank that's moving some employees to new offices, according to Chief Executive Officer Ben Weber. The bank wants to use humanized badges to determine seating locations for traders, asset managers, and support staff to improve productivity, he says. So basically, they're looking at emotions, they're looking at vital signs, and they're grouping these people according to what type of physiology or results are we getting by way of these machines. Is your heart rate of this group, more in line with this other group? Are these people more stressful, more calm, or what than the other group? So unfortunately, looks like the employers are starting to take a look at what these people have in common or not. Another startup, Behavox, BEHAV is in Victor, OX as in Xerox, uses machine learning programs to scan employee communications and trading records. Emotional analysis of telephone conversations is part of a worker's overall behavioral picture. According to founder Erkin Edeloff, a former Goldman Sachs research analyst, when a worker deviates from established patterns, shouting at someone he's trading with when previous conversations were calm could be a sign further scrutiny is warranted. The emotional condition and mapping in phone calls is increasingly something that banks really want from us, says Edeloff, whose company is based in London. All the things you do as a human are driven by emotions. So again, they want to make sure that certain industries get a hold of this technology. And again, according to whether or not you're a trader or something, then it could be very essential in terms of trying to figure out when do you get overstressed and how do we counter that before it becomes a problem. So moving right along, 16,000 WordPress sites have been hacked. At least 15,769 WordPress websites have been compromised so far this year by cyber attackers, and most are serving up malware unflagged by Google's safe browsing checks. So Google has a safe browsing things built into their browsers, but this is not being flagged according to this article. So the WordPress malware is not being detected by Google's safe browsing checks. WordPress is a popular target because the majority of web users uses it because the majority of the web uses it to manage and publish their content. That's according to the 2016 Security report on compromised web properties, which noted that out of 21,821 sites studied, the majority of them, 78%, are using WordPress. The report focuses on 4 open source content management systems, otherwise known as CMS. In addition to WordPress, it covers Joomla, 14%, Magenta, 5%, Drupal, 2%, and about 3,099 Joomla sites were hacked this year too. So it looks like WordPress is making up the lion's share of the compromised sites. When it comes to out-of-date software, a common vector for hackers, the report found that WordPress installations were out of date 55% of the time. So you guys aren't updating, obviously, your WordPress software quickly enough. While Joomla was 86%, Drupal 84%, and Magenta at 96% continue to lead the way with out-of-date software. Year over year, WordPress saw a 1% decrease in out-of-date core software and infected websites, while Drupal had a 3% increase. Joomla, Magenta website deployments continue to show the most out-of-date instances of any platform. So I take that back. It looks like some of the others actually were doing a lot worse off than WordPress, because it says Joomla and Magenta web deployments continue to show the most out-of-date instances of any platform. Okay. And this is the last item. It's not really cybersecurity, but it really leads to us being taken advantage of on the internet and with our phones, etc. When we use apps and when we sign on to our favorite sites where we're supposed to read the terms and conditions, but we typically don't. You log into, you set up your YouTube account, you set up your Amazon account, you set up your Facebook account. It's 3 million pages of terms and conditions. Nobody reads it. This is good news. Terms of service didn't read is a browser plugin that I'm actually reviewing myself, you guys. So terms of service didn't read. Okay, check that out. It's a browser plugin and it reviews terms of service. Okay, let me repeat that again. It reviews terms of service for you. A browser plugin. It simply gives you lettering that tells you A is better, E is worse. So you got a grading system, and it's very clear, very um, um, quick to visually just see what's going on here in a matter of seconds. Okay, we are a user rights initiative to rate and label website terms and privacy policies. Okay, from very good, again, Class A to very bad, Class E as in Edward. Terms of service are often too long to read, but it's important to understand what's in them. Your rights online depend upon them. We hope that our ratings can help you get informed about your rights. Do not hesitate to click on a service below that's on their website. To have more details, you can also get the ratings directly in your browser by installing our browser add-on. I'm actually using that, and it's very revealing, you guys, because again, when you go to YouTube, when you go to Facebook or Amazon or whatever, it's actually starting to look at the terms and conditions and give you a very good depiction of what you're up against, whether or not it's favorable or not. And then terms of service didn't read, short for TOS, semicolon DR, like David Ralph, is a young project started in June 2012 to help fix the biggest lie on the web. Almost no one really reads the terms of services we agree to all the time. A little bit of background. The rough idea behind terms of service didn't read emerged during the 2011 chaos communication camp near Berlin with people from Unhosted. Okay, that's called Unhosted, a movement to create web apps that give users control over their valuable user data and privacy. Since June 2012, Hugo Roy, that's Hugo and Roy, or you can tweet them at Hugo Roy with D as in David, that's Hugo Roy with D as in David at the end, has taken the lead for the project and started the legal analysis. Ultimately, all the work is transparent and the discussions happen in public. Our work is funded by nonprofits, organizations, and individual donations and gets released as free software and open data. So this is sounds like a great deal of transparency, sounds like a great deal of disclosure, sounds like something user-based and not so much corporate or special interest funded. So check it out for yourselves. Terms of service, didn't read. Google it, look it up, try it out. Let me know what you think. That's it for this cyber news flash. Okay. Again, today's episode is episode number 5. The Cybersecurity News Flash focuses on the fact that this is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, the month of October. And my name is Monty Henry, president of DPL Surveillance Equipment, full service surveillance and security equipment company. If you want to talk to me about getting your favorite bug detectors, trackers, nanny cameras, anti-terrorist products, audio listening devices, etc., give me a call, 888-344-3742. That's 888-344-3742. We'll be glad to see if we can help you, okay? So we appreciate it when you guys join us in these particular sessions, and welcome back to the next one. Bring a friend, enemy, associate, neighbor, we don't care who, dog, cat. Bring them back here. Share this with them, and we wish you guys safe web browsing. Have a good day. Thank you. Take care. Bye.